You've got a fire in your belly, a passion to serve, and an insatiable drive to contribute. You know that if you can just get your message in front of the right people, you can change lives. But where to start? There are so many options, so many moving pieces. You get bogged down, overwhelmed, frustrated, while the burning desire to serve others consumes you. I know, I've been there. And these days I bring life-changing impact and value to people's lives through the creation of books, funnels, online courses and coaching programs, and virtual summits. This is the Call to Serve podcast. I'm Tim Cooper, and this is my journey. Have you ever had a task to do and you think to yourself, I couldn't be bothered today, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and goes, and the next day. And all of a sudden it's been a week, a month, a year or more, and that task still hasn't been done. And more than likely, so much time passes you even forgot you had to do it. And there's a famous quote by Benjamin Franklin that goes, "Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today." And that quote is a cornerstone to success. In fact, Tomsik says that success is just tons of discipline. And to reinforce that, a quote by Jim Rohn, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and achievements." You see, we often fall victim to something known as Parkinsons Law, which basically means that the work expands to fill the time allotted. And this can be applied in a number of ways. It could be that you take a 2-hour task and you allot a week to do it. And all of a sudden, because you've allowed a week for a 2-hour task, that task can build in complexity. And it can become daunting, and it's hard to start because all of a sudden something that appeared to be simple has been built up in your mind as something very complex and time consuming, and you put it off and you put it off and you put it off. Or you could have a deadline of, say, this has to be done by the end of the month, and it's the first of the month, or you might even have 6 weeks. And so you say to yourself, that's okay. I've got plenty of time. I don't have to worry about that now. I'll get it done. It's only going to take me a couple of hours. And then what do? You leave it right to the last moment, and then you put yourself under so much stress and pressure to get that simple job done. And we've all done that, especially at school when we're given a school assignment and we've got the date it's got to be submitted by, and we just go along with our life and enjoy ourselves, and then the night before we're up till 3 o'clock in the morning getting it done. When we could have just easily gone, okay, well, that's going to take an hour for me to do, or that's going to take 2 hours or 3 hours, or it could be quite a big assignment, a bit of research, it might even take 8 hours. Why don't I allot myself 2 to 3 hours a day, or break that up over a week and get it done? Thomas Huxley once said, when it came to success, you have to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you like it or not. Do what you should do when you should do it, whether you like it or not. So when you take these success principles into consideration and you look at Parkinson's Law, you can organize your life in such a way that you can get more done in less time, be more productive, and greatly reduce your stress levels and lift that pressure off you. You can buy back so much time by simply looking at the things that distract you throughout the day. Instead of spending 20, 30 minutes scrolling through email and maybe checking your email every hour or whatever, discipline yourself to only check your email once or twice a day. And then when you do check your email, simply scan through and identify what looks to be important and only look at that. Don't get lost in email. I mean, if it's really, really important, I'm sure they'll find another way to contact you, either by message or phone call or something else. So the planet isn't going to explode if you don't check your email regularly. Social media, major time trap, okay? Now you go on a social media to check one thing and all of a sudden you've just spent half an hour. YouTube, sometimes I find that with YouTube. I go onto YouTube to look for something and all of a sudden the next suggested video comes up and the next suggested video comes up. And all of a sudden, instead of just spending that 15 minutes looking up something that I wanted to know, I've spent half an hour, 45 minutes. And what could I have done in that extra time? Well, a lot. So to become more productive, you've got to become a better judge of time. You've got to have a realistic expectation of how long it's going to take you to do a task. And sometimes what you could even do is you could map out all the tasks that you need to do and then assign a reasonable amount of time to each task and then cut that time in half and then put yourself under pressure and just see how quickly you really can get those jobs done. And I'm sure you will surprise yourself. And just do it. Don't put it off. Like for me, in my daily schedule, I'll get up in the morning and I'll check email. That's the first thing. And I said, I'll skim through. I've got numerous email accounts, but honestly, I don't spend more than 5 or 6 minutes just scanning through all the emails that have come in overnight. And if I don't identify anything that needs my immediate attention, that job's done. And then the next thing I'll do is I'll check for messages and texts and that sort of stuff. And once again, I'll just scan through to see if anything needs my immediate attention. And if not, that's done. And then I'll make myself a cup of coffee and I'll plan out my day. And I'll get the things that I need to get done, the important things, the revenue generating things done first. And it might even be boring stuff. It might even be stuff that I don't enjoy doing, but I get that out of the way first, because Murphy's Law is that somewhere along during the day, things are going to get hectic. I'm going to get interruptions. I'm going to get phone calls and things I've got to attend to. So it's so important that you get the important stuff out of the way. That could be invoicing, it could be updating a website, it could be creating a new product or starting on new product creation. Those important things that ultimately will bring you revenue are the first things that I work on during the day when my day starts. The other thing that I do early on in the day is I record this podcast. Now, this podcast I normally do around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning because, once again, I can't guarantee what my day is going to turn out like. So this is something that I have committed to doing. So I get on and I do it. I get it done. And also the simple fact that it can take a while, depending on how my computer is behaving. It can take extra time for the videos to be ready to upload. So I've got to give myself that extra space. But I really do try to be disciplined with my time. I work at not being distracted. And sometimes, the mind and the brain will try to drag you away as saying, well, this is hard work, because, as I said in a previous episode, the brain, even though it takes up around about 2% or 3% of your entire body weight, consumes 20% of your calories. So the more you think, the more calories you burn, and then the body's programmed to conserve calories. So once you're thinking too hard, the brain says, "Oh, come on, I need a break. Let's go and watch a YouTube video. Let's go and look at some funny cats, or let's go and scan through that email again." But I think the most important thing is to identify the time and then work to that time. Don't leave things to last minute. Don't let things blow out. Don't have your mind working on something that could have taken you an hour or two, but you've given yourself a week to complete it, and now your brain is working on how it can fill that time to perform that task. And that task then turns into this daunting, overwhelming thing that you just really don't want to spend any time with. So that is my message for you for today. Do what you should do when you should do it, even if you don't want to. Discipline yourself. Self-discipline is your roadmap to success. You will start to get things done. And when I'm saying do what you should do, when you should do it, that's also not only in the application, but that's saying, okay, if you've got to go and learn a new skill or find out some information, do it. And then don't waste time contemplating anything else, then just do it and then just jump straight into the action. Learn what you need to do, apply it. Learn what you need to do, apply it. And you'll find that you'll start to move forward very, very quickly. You won't be wasting a lot of time with distractions and things that you really don't need to be doing. And you'll be getting a lot more done in a shorter period of time. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you found this information useful, if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button and the little bell. You liked it? Give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, feedback, comments, please drop them below. If you're listening to this podcast on another platform and you enjoy the content, please follow the show and give it a review. If there's a way for you to reach out to me via the platform, please do so. Otherwise, I'm also always available at tim@timcooper.au. That's tim@timcooper.au. I really love to hear from you. And once again, if you want to see all the previous episodes, you can check out my website at timcooper.au. Okay, and until next time, you take care.